All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. Once again, your host, Will Reichling. 4 weeks into the NFL season, quarter way through. So what does that mean? It's time for the NFL Power Rankings. First time in 2025 that we're going to do the NFL Power Rankings on this podcast. So let's do it. Like, subscribe, share. Keep supporting me. I'm going to keep putting out videos throughout the entire season. So let's get it right now. Let's go. So in my eyes, the number one team in the NFL, number one in my quarter season power rankings, the Philadelphia Eagles, number one. Defending champs, undefeated, 4-0 so far. They've won multiple different ways. They've won throwing the ball a couple weeks ago to A.J. Brown, who went off, running the ball, tush push, defense, special teams, 2 blocked field goals in the game against the Rams. They've shown this season and last season that they could beat you multiple different ways, and that's what makes them so great. Because, yes, they only have 138 pass yards per game. It's the second lowest in the league per game. No completions in the second half against the Bucs at all. 0 completions. We all know A.J. Brown's getting frustrated. He won a Super Bowl. He kind of said a couple days after how that didn't satisfy him. What satisfies him is dominating in this league. He wants to be a Hall of Famer. And as a wide receiver, former wide receivers in the league, and current wide receivers, I bet you they all understand where he's coming from. This is a guy that's now won a chip, got his money. He's trying to put up numbers. So it's understandable. And they got him 9 targets last game. He had 9 targets, but only 2 catches for 7 yards. So they're trying to get him the ball. I think he's going to break out eventually. I really do. He's just too good of a player not to break out. And Jalen Hurts can throw from the pocket. He's not the best thrower from the pocket, but he's confident throwing from the pocket. He can make throws from the pocket. He's shown that. He's not Justin Fields where he can't throw it all from the pocket. So I think A.J. Brown's going to break out soon. Also, I'm saying that because, yes, I drafted him in fantasy. I'm an idiot. But I'm going to put faith in him, and I'm going to put faith in this Eagles team that they're going to get the ball going through the air, moving forward, and they're the best team in the league to me. They've won multiple different ways, and they show when they can sling the rock, they can. They show them when they can throw the ball, they could do that. And they show them they could just beat you so many different ways, and they could win ugly games, which is very important in the playoffs, cold weather. So I'm going to take the Eagles number 1, obviously. Number 2, Buffalo Bills. They lead the league in rush yards per game, second in total yards per game. The combination of Josh Allen with James Cook is just so hard to stop. And James Cook is just so versatile, so elusive. He's become just a very special back in this league. He's a top 5 running back for sure. Other than Puka Nacua, Khalil Shakir is probably the best at yards after the catch. He just, for a small guy, is very just twitchy and versatile and just can weasel his way through tackles. And that Bills offense, Kincaid and Knox, the 2 tight ends. Keon Coleman kind of slowly, but coming into his own as time goes on. This Bills team just, they trade Stephon Diggs a couple of years ago. They lose their number 1 receiver. I mean, everyone thinks Josh Allen, this team's going to regress. They've only gotten better. This offense just has very good chemistry with Joe Brady. They are a run-first team now, and with James Cook in the backfield, they kind of feed off James Cook's energy. James Cook runs for 10 yards. They use the play action, kind of throw it, dump off to James Cook. James Cook kind of runs the offense with Josh Allen. Josh Allen's 1A, and I would say James Cook's 1B. The defense has been shaky at times. They let up a lot of points to the Ravens. They played the Jets. That was kind of an easy game, obviously. But they played a couple teams that kind of cruised the victory. Miami Dolphins, the defense kind of didn't play great against. But to me, the Bills are the second best team in the league. They're the team to beat in the AFC right now. This is Josh Allen's year to go to the Super Bowl. So it's really now or never. Number 3, the Detroit Lions. Slow start in Week 1 against the Packers. Very slow start for sure. But the offense has been rolling ever since. They lead the league in points per game. Jared Goff, when he's getting protection, does his thing. Jared Goff is doing his thing because he's getting protection in the pocket. Jahmyr Gibbs starting to get going. Montgomery had a big game last game. Amon-Ra St. Brown, other than Puka Nacua, right now probably has the second best stats as far as a receiver in the league. This offense, we all thought it'd be a regression from Ben Johnson to John Morton, but John Morton's filled in this role just fine. John Morton's done a very good job. Kelvin Shepard's done a very good job. And this Detroit Lions team has picked up where they left off last season. And the defense looks better. They're healthy. They go and get DJ Reed, the corner. So now you have Terrion Arnold and DJ Reed, along with Brian Branch. That secondary is scary. They got Aiden Hutchinson back. I mean, this team is pretty complete. So in the NFC, they're definitely competing with the Eagles as the best team in the NFC. Number 4, Los Angeles Rams. 4th in total yards per game, 3rd in pass yards per game, and listen to this. Puka Nacua already has 42 catches. Puka Nacua is on pace for 178 catches and 2,138 receiving yards. Those would be NFL records by far. Even in a 16-game schedule, he would have an NFL record in both those categories. Yes, sometimes he has injury issues. Yes, sometimes he isn't always available in the past couple seasons, along with Stafford, but he's taken his game to a whole nother level this season. Him with the ball in his hands, how do you tackle that guy? He just never goes down. Great route running. This guy is really, as a fifth-round pick, developed into the best receiver, one of the best receivers in the league. He's top 3 for sure. With Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, he's been more consistent lately. Justin Jefferson, kind of a little quarterback dependent, but has still been great with any quarterback. Jamar Chase has been great with Jake Browning in the past, but right now it's kind of fluttered. Puka Nacua going out there every game, and he's on pace to have NFL records right now. So be on the watch for record breaking from Puka Nacua and the Rams. And their defense, young, fast. Jared Verse looks like he's going to be a beast for years. And Stafford, in the offseason, we were worried about his back. We didn't know if he was going to last a full season. Looks great right now. He's been excellent so far. So this Rams team, I said they were going to go 14-3. I said they were going to be the 1 seed, and they're kind of in position to still fight for that. I don't really think that way anymore, that they're going to be the 1 seed, be 14-3, but they're one of the best teams in the NFC for sure. Number 5, the Green Bay Packers. I thought they were the best team in football, but then they lost to the Browns, and then they let up 40 points and tied with the Cowboys. So the defense, very disappointing in the last game. Micah Parsons has kind of disappeared in some spots. He had that sack at the end of the game against Dak, kind of sack, kind of tackle. But you're the Green Bay Packers. You trade with the Dallas Cowboys. You trade two first-round picks. You trade Kenny Clark. You get Micah Parsons. You think if you play the Dallas Cowboys, you would destroy them. You think if you play the Dallas Cowboys, you blow them out. You have the better roster. You have the better head coach, the better quarterback. You would think the better offensive weapons, the better defense, the better defensive coordinator. And they go and they tie with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott's been playing great. That offense has been playing great. They didn't even have CeeDee Lamb. They did not have CeeDee Lamb. The Packers offense has been great. Jordan Love, 8 touchdowns, 1 pick, 113 passer rating. He's having a career year. But the defense is going to play like that. It's going to hold them back. I thought they were the best team in the league. I'll keep them in the top 5. Why? They have the best offense and a top 5 defense on third down. So that means they have the high success rate on offense on third down, and the 5th high success rate on defense on third down. So when you're that good of a team offensively and defensively on third down, I'm going to vouch for you. So I'm going to keep them in the top 5, even though last week I was concerned about their tie with Dallas. Number 6, the LA Chargers. Look, Joe Alt's going to be out for several weeks with a high ankle sprain, and the injuries are starting to mount up. Khalil Mack, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt. It's getting a little out of hand here. I still think with Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh, they're going to be fine. And they're going to get Khalil Mack eventually. The defense has still been very stingy. And Derwin James has been playing like the defensive player of the year so far. Omari and Hampton is finally starting to go. And Keenan Allen looks rejuvenated being back with the Chargers. Quentin Johnson looks like he's finally salvaged as a first-round pick. You still got McConkey. So I think this team will be fine. But we thought this was going to be a top team in the AFC. This might be this might be the 3rd or 4th best team in the AFC. All these injuries are going to catch up to you eventually, and there's a lot of injuries around the league. So it's like kind of what are you going to do about it? How are you going to react? But it's going to be tough with all those injuries. They're going to get Khalil Mack back. They'll get Joe Alt back, but eventually, like the Chiefs are on the rise, and the Chargers are kind of taking a slight step backwards right now, but they're going to be fine. They will be fine. Number 7, Tampa Bay Bucks. Baker has been Baker. 3-game winning drives in the first 4 games. They were all in the first 3 games, but almost had another one against the Eagles. But this team has been sort of weird so far. They barely beat the Falcons, barely game-winning drive, and one within the last minutes. Barely beat the Texans, one pretty much in the last drive. Barely beat the Jets. Jets almost won on a blocked field goal return for a touchdown. So they barely beat the Falcons, barely beat the Texans, barely beat the Jets. All 3 of those games came down to the final minutes. And all 3 of those games, the Bucks, in theory, would be the better team. So, yes, they have a ton of injuries. I think getting Chris Godwin back is going to be huge for this offense, was huge for this offense. But Mike Evans is out now. So, like, when one guy comes back, the other guy gets hurt. And Baker, yes, Baker's still been a stud. Baker's still been winning games for you. But this team has been sort of weird so far, so I can't put them in the top 5. I think they'll be fine. They'll get some of their players back, but so these wins have been weird. And they fell down big to the Eagles, almost came back and won, but they still fell down big. They look kind of inferior in that game. I'm going to put Bucks at 7. Number 8, the Chiefs. So this might be the lowest that I've ever done a ranking and had the Chiefs. So the Chiefs at 8. They get Xavier Worthy back. That was huge. That was ginormous. But yes, you were playing the Ravens defense, which is probably the worst or second worst in the league behind Dallas. So how much can you really take from that? I don't know, but all I know is Patrick Mahomes this year has been great so far. Kelsey made some big plays. Having Worthy back, stretching out that defense with the deep ball is going to be huge for this Chiefs team. And now Thornton, who was a former, I think, second-round pick in the past, is starting to kind of come around. Tyquan Thornton? He's starting to come around. Maybe this guy is a weapon that you could use in the future. Juju Smith-Schuster looks like all of a sudden he's a rejuvenated player. We all thought he was shot. He's making plays for them. So with Andy Reid and Mahomes, Chiefs are going to be fine. They're a top 10 team. They're going to make the playoffs. And they might still be fighting for this division with the Chargers with all their injuries and the Broncos kind of underperforming so far. They've been better, still underperforming. Chiefs still have a shot at their division. Top 10 team, they're number 8. Number 9, the Indianapolis Colts. Would not think I would have them in the top 10 at all this season, before the season started. 3rd in total yards per game, 4th in points per game, 4th in passing yards per game. I think they were really competitive against the Rams. They easily could have won that game. And look, Daniel Jones has been great. 103 passer rating, and has not had that many. Yes, he had 2 interceptions last game, but really hasn't turned the ball over too much. Has made big plays. That Rams game, he was making big-time throws in the field. Throws I never saw him make on the New York Giants. And yes, he's getting more protection on the Colts compared to the Giants. Yes, he has more weapons on the Colts compared to the Giants. Yes, he has a better, right now, the jury's out on the table, a better offensive head coach on the Colts and on the Giants. But he's making the most of this opportunity, and he looks like a quarterback that can win games and looks like a faster, bigger arm version of Alex Smith right now. And yes, Tyler Warren's been a huge addition. Jonathan Taylor looks like he's having a career year, so that all helps your quarterback. But Daniel Jones is playing the script perfectly. He's playing a script, but he's playing it exactly the way, as a head coach, you want your quarterback to play it. So the Colts are a top 10 team, and yes, I think they're going to win the division. They are going to win the division. They might even win a playoff game the way they're playing right now. So Colts at 9. Number 10, rounding off my top 10, I'm going to put the Seattle Seahawks here. And we just have to admit, Sam Darnold has been worth the signing so far. Over 100 passer rating. He's making big plays. He's winning games for this team. He looks comfortable in an offense that's very young. And Jackson Smith-Njigba has emerged into a number 1 receiver. He's 2nd in receiving yards right now, so already emerged into a number 1 receiver. Kenneth Walker looks completely revived. Kenneth Walker looks revived. They just look like they have players in this offense now with Darnold, who's making big plays with them. Cooper Kupp making plays. That guy Horton's making plays. This is a young offense with an old Cooper Kupp, but a young offense for the most part, with Sam Darnold getting plopped into this offense and being very productive. So Sam Darnold, I heard a lot of criticism about the Seahawks replacing Geno Smith with Sam Darnold. People saying that Geno Smith was a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. And I want people to sit here today and admit that they were wrong. Because Sam Darnold threw 35 touchdown passes last year. Sam Darnold won 14 games last year. I'm pretty sure the Minnesota Vikings are missing Sam Darnold right now. And the Seahawks are glad they got him. Seahawks at 10. Number 11, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I did not ever think I would have them this high this season. They played really smart football. 2nd best turnover differential in the league. 2nd most in takeaways in the league. And Aaron Rodgers is playing pretty well. 8 touchdown passes, 103 passer rating. The biggest problem has been their running game. But they got it going big time in Ireland. Big time. Kenneth Gainwell with 99 yards. They really got it going. And look, the Ravens right now, Lamar can miss 1 game. He can miss 3 games. They're kind of in shambles. The Bengals, Joe Burrow pretty much out for the year. They're in shambles. The Browns are bad. Because the Steelers win the AFC North. It's very possible right now. They're playing smart football. Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers. The defense looks like they got going against the Vikings. Yes, their line's terrible, but they got pressure on Carson Wentz. So I'm going to put the Steelers at 11. Number 12, the Denver Broncos. They had a slow start to the season. They lost games they should have won, and they played close against teams they should have blown out. And the defense had a slow start to the season, but they're really starting to get into a groove. The Bengals are awful, but it was a get-right game for the Broncos. The defense was very suffocating, and they've been suffocating all year. They have the 2nd lowest points per game allowed in the league. They're the 4th best defense on 3rd down. They're 5th in rushing yards per game on offense, and J.K. Dobbins averaging 5.7 yards per carry. So they're running the ball effectively. Bo Nix has weapons on this offense. Courtland Sutton looks like a number 1 receiver. Marvin Mims, big-time playmaker. Troy Franklin, his buddy from Oregon, making big plays. So they have playmakers on this offense, and Bo Nix starting to turn the ball over a little less, distribute the ball. He's had a lot of turnovers, really bad turnovers. Broncos are a good team with Sean Payton. Number 12. Number 13, the Baltimore Ravens. I would put them lower, but I really feel like Lamar's going to come back in a couple games, and I think they'll be fine. But the defense has been awful, completely awful. The defense has been terrible. Most points per game allowed, second most yards per game allowed, and that was Lamar's worst game since the last time he played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. From that point to now, he has not played a game that bad. It's almost every time he plays the Chiefs. But overall, Lamar's been fine. He leads the league in touchdown passes and quarterback rating. 10 touchdowns, 1 pick, 130 passer rating. Now he's hurt. Very likely going to miss the Texans game. Might be out 2 to 3 games, so the Ravens might be screwed. Derrick Henry has to step up big time. The defense has to step up big time, but that might not matter. The next three games, home against the Texans, home against the Rams, and at the Bears. All winnable games with Lamar. We'll most likely win 2 out of 3 with Lamar. But now, they might lose all 3. So, am I worried? Yes, I'm extremely worried. But once they get Lamar back, this offense is going to be fine. It's whether the defense can pick it up. They did last year. Can they do it again? Number 14, San Francisco 49ers. They're actually top 6 in both yards and yards allowed per game. So top 6 offense in yards per game, top 6 defense in yards allowed per game. But they're tied for the league lead with 8 turnovers. They have the 3rd worst turnover differential. Brock Purdy's had some very, very boneheaded picks. Has had some very dumb decisions this season. And he's a little bit of a gunslinger, so that's going to happen, but it's gotten worse this year. But the defense actually has done a great job of bringing Robert Saleh back as the coordinator. They've been very good this season. So as long as Brock Purdy reels in the turnovers and they play within their offense, they actually haven't run the ball that well. McCaffrey's gotten a lot of usage, has caught a lot of passes out of the backfield. I think he's top 5 in catches this season. But they have not run the ball well, and Brock Purdy's made a lot of boneheaded mistakes. So they need to clean that up, and they'll probably be fine and be a playoff team because their schedule is so easy. Number 15. This is probably the weirdest team in my power rankings so far. The Jacksonville Jaguars. They're running the ball very well. Travis Etienne having a rebound season. They're 4th in rushing yards per game. They're playing good defense. They have the 5th lowest points per game allowed. But the biggest reason that they've been successful so far is their turnover differential. They lead the league in turnover differential with +9. They lead the league in takeaways. ETN with a huge bounce back year so far, 6.1 yards per carry, 3rd in rushing yards this team is per game. But Trevor Lawrence has not been very good. Trevor Lawrence actually has been awful. 75 passer rating, that's bottom 5 in the league. 58 completion percentage, that is terrible, bottom 4 in the league. The reason they've been winning is running the ball and creating turnovers on defense. That's been carrying them. Not sustainable. They need Trevor Lawrence to play better, but this is probably the worst he's played in a 4-game stretch in his career. And somehow they're 3-1. So if you're Jacksonville, you got to be happy with that, but concerned about Trevor Lawrence. And last but not least, number 16, the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels will most likely be back against the Chargers. And if he's back, I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll be just fine. Yes, they're the oldest team in the league. Yes, they kind of looked like shit against the Packers a couple of weeks ago when he played. But yes, Terry McLaurin has some injury issues. But you saw last season, Jaden Daniels with a less talented offensive roster, bringing that team to the NFC Championship game. You still have Deebo Samuel. Krosky Merritt looks like a player. Zach Ertz. So you have pieces there. Dan Quinn's been a damn good head coach. I think with Jaden Daniels coming back, getting a little healthy, they'll be just fine. I think they're still going to be a playoff team. So Commanders at 16. So let's repeat that. Number 1, I have the Eagles. Number 2, I have the Bills. 3, Lions. 4, Rams. 5, Packers. 6, Chargers. 7, Bucks. 8, Chiefs. 9, Colts. 10, Seahawks. 11, Steelers. 12, Broncos. 13, Ravens. 14, 49ers. 15, Jaguars. And 16, Commanders. Thanks, guys. I will be out next week. I'm going to Myrtle Beach, so I'll take a little bit of a week off. I'll see you in 2 weeks. We'll be back with more exciting, maybe another ranking. I'll react to some of the biggest games, do what I usually do. I'll keep posting videos. Keep supporting me. Keep watching. Thank you. Take care. See you soon.